Okay. Can everybody hear us? Pretty good?
Got it. Thanks, Lisa.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, I got transcript going. Let me turn that off. Okay, just so everybody's aware, this meeting is being recorded. So you can reference back to this later on if we go too fast for you and you just kind of want to review what we said. You're more than welcome to reach out to us and get a copy of this recording. I'm not sure if we'll be posting it somewhere on our social media or anything. But again, reach out to us at 304-558-2210. That's the Business Development Division. And we'll get that taken care of for you.
We'll start promptly at 6:30, so we'll give a couple more minutes for everybody to join. Should we go ahead and
Lisa Jones, do you have either of our cell phone numbers? I think we exchanged numbers, but
I might have Maggie's.
I do not. I have your work number, but not cell phone.
ending in 88. Is that you?
Yeah. Yep.
I must have had it from last year. Okay, here. Maggie has a quick question for you. We just didn't want to publicize it yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh.
Great.
Okay. All right, we're back. Hi, everybody. If you don't already know us, my name is Amanda Kittle. I'm the Administrative Assistant in the Business Development Division here at the West Virginia Department of Agriculture.
And I'm Maggie Blankenship. I'm the Agritourism Marketing Specialist for the Department of Agriculture, helping out with the Winter Blues Farmers Market this year. So we're super excited to have all of you on this call. We thought it would be super helpful for especially our first-time vendors that's never been to the market before to just know a little bit of information going into it. And
we're really excited about this. This is a great event. It's something that we personally really enjoy every year. It's so crowded. It's so amazing. We're excited to have you guys join us.
Yep. So we'll just get started. We are recording tonight's meeting just so if anyone wasn't able to watch it live this evening, they can get their questions answered. And if you have any questions throughout this evening, you can pop those in the chat box, or we will do a call out at the end if you have any questions. But we'll take any questions that you have at the end, or if you are afraid that you'll forget them like I would, you can pop those in the chat and we'll get to those as we can. But just so we're all aware, the Winter Blues Farmers Market this year is going to be held on Saturday, February 24th, 2024. And it is from 1 to 6, open to the public. And then we are having a new vendor networking and shopping hour, as well as a few wholesalers will be in there at that time from noon to 1. So your booth does need to be set up by noon and then open until 6 p.m.
And the noon to 1 hour, again, this is just for you and just for a couple of wholesalers we have invited. It will not be open to the public. So do take advantage of this time to go around and talk with other vendors and get those goodies, because we know you guys are going to be busy the entire event and you're not going to have time to get away. So this is your chance to kind of go around and get your little bit of shopping done. And I don't know, between everything we're doing, I'll probably be going around doing a little bit of shopping myself.
If you haven't already got your application in, those are due February 9th. But we do encourage everybody to get them in as quickly as possible, as we are getting a lot of applications this year, which is super exciting. But we don't want to, we don't foresee running out of space, but just in case, make sure that you get yours in before the deadline, and we will not be accepting late applications this year. For the booth space, you get a 10 by 10 draped space. So it does have poles in the back with curtains and curtains on two sides. Each booth is side by side. And they're 10 foot by 10 foot. It comes with one 8-foot unskirted table. So please bring your own tablecloth for your table, 2 chairs, and a small trash can. You can bring additional tables, signage, coolers, extension cords. We recommend that you do bring a branded tablecloth if you have one. If you are unable to transport extra tables, you can purchase those for $10 a table, and you add those on to your application. Additionally, if you would like additional booth spaces, it's an additional 10 by 10 space, and it is the separate $125.
There is behind your booth, the curtains are taller, so you do have space to hang a banner or things like that up. So do keep that in mind as you're packing and preparing your booth layout. You maybe have some pins or some hooks to hook that up. Now that curtain could be shared with somebody behind you. The central aisles do share that back curtain. So keep that in mind as well as you're planning your stuff, that as you're trying to hook your stuff out, yes, S-hooks are best. Please do not damage the drapes from the Civic Center. So keep that in mind with your heavy stuff. But yeah.
We also have S-hooks for if you're a West Virginia Grown member. We'll provide a small sign that says West Virginia Grown member, and we hook those up with S-hooks. And if you want the link to the S-hooks that we got off of Amazon, we're happy to send that to you. Or if Beth, if you're listening and have that handy and want to pop that in the chat, that would be great too. But you can decorate that. There's Beth. You can decorate the back of your vendor space as needed. Zip ties also work very well and no damage.
And we do encourage you to, again, decorate your booth space. You want to make your vendor space presentable, accessible to the public, and visually pleasing. You're going to have a large crowd, so you want to kind of attract their attention, because that's going to be like, oh, what's this? what's this? What's this? We have a lot going on. You know, as you plan out your booth space very well, and do keep that in mind. Pull up banners, things like that that attract eyes to your booth are always a plus. Do keep in mind, whatever you plan, make sure it does not visually cut off sight from your neighbor. That's not, I think it's reasonable to understand that you don't want to put stuff up so people cannot see the booth next to you. That's not fair to your neighbor.
And it can't be in the walkways.
Yes, can't keep you in the walkways for fire safety. Attractive and functional, yes. WVDA does kind of have that discretion if we notice that something is blocking your neighbor or something might be in the way or is a fire hazard or something like that, we may request that you move your items. Just kind of keep that in mind. We're not doing it to be mean. We're not doing that to keep you from doing sales. We're trying to keep the event safe and keep it fair to all participants and to the public as well.
Going off of the booth spaces, they will be assigned by us, the Department of Agriculture and Extension. We will put together that map and let you know, hopefully the week of the event, where you will be located. But rest assured, it will be done before you move in Friday evening, but those maps do get a little hairy, just trying to put people where electricity is needed and things like that, but we will be assigning booths. So keep an eye on your email the week of the farmers market for those assignments. And
people have requested different things, corner spaces, same spaces as last year, more forward, different. We are taking those requests into consideration. We cannot promise that we will honor every one of them, but we are taking your requests into consideration as we start to plan our layout. We have addressed the layout issue from last year. There will not be that tight aisle space that some of you did see last year. That is no longer an issue. We have expanded, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but
yeah, well, that's a good transition into it. So new for 2024 is a new floor plan and an additional space in the conference center. We will have not only the grand hall of the conference center, but the grand ballrooms as well. So a large extra space to spread out into. So we will be redoing the floor plans to not have the congested areas that we had last year, and we apologize for those oversights on our part last year. We did not realize how tight it was going to be, so we apologize, and we have changed layouts for this year. Amanda, let's get into the setup and tear down procedure. So this is what your day will kind of look like.
Okay, so for setup, we do have a limited number of hours on Friday evening from 5 to 7 p.m. where we will have a couple vendors come in. This is mainly for our larger scale vendors, the people with trailers. We have a meat trailer that needs to come in on Friday night, things like that. So we will be kind of checking in. If you would like to be able to come in on Friday night, please let us know. That's not a guarantee we will have time to get you in, but it does let us know to put you on the list like, hey, they would like to move in on Friday night. Saturday, the day of the event. The dock will open at 8:30 a.m. WVDA staff will be on the dock. Loading takes place on the Lee Street side of the Civic Center. I believe it's the South Dock, but or North Dock, excuse me, that's the North Dock on the Lee Street side. So you will be able to pull into the parking lot, ideally be able to pull up on the ramp. It'll just depend. We're going to have to, play nice with each other and move vehicles in and out. Your time at the loading dock needs to be very quick, very efficient. When you need to get your vehicle in, unload. We will have some carts available. Get your items to your booth. The WVDA staff will take you to your booth space. Unload your items from that cart immediately and bring it back to the dock for the next vendor to use. There's a very limited amount of carts and supplies available. Yes, if you have a dolly, if you have your own cart, definitely bring it, 100% bring it. You will not be allowed to leave your vehicle by that dock. whenever you're done unloading your vehicle, somebody has to move that to the new space. In just a second, I am going to share our screen in the chat. Whoop, excuse me. So in the chat, I have uploaded a document. Oh, well, never mind. You might be able to access it. It's not letting me access it for some reason.
You can share from that other map, can't you?
Oh, it
You
doesn't
just
have the
have
highlighting.
Oh, okay.
So there is this parking options. So it's a pretty crude map, and we'll have something a little bit nicer looking closer to the event. But it does show some of the parking options that are around the area. So if I remember correctly, one of them is when you leave the lot, it's a one-way street, you'll be able to circle around the Civic Center, park in the main Civic Center garage. That one fills up pretty quickly. If that one's full, you could also park on either side of the Charleston Town Center Mall. And there is a parking garage across from the loading docks. You'll be able to circle the Civic Center and then pull in there. Again, that map is in your chat, so you can reference it, and we will try to have something a little bit nicer than me highlighting on a piece of paper and scanning it a little bit closer to the event so you can see.
We'll additionally have a new vendor parking lot this year at the Charleston Health Department, which is just across the street from the Civic Center. We've been granted access to their parking lot, so especially the trucks with trailers will be able to park in that parking lot. First come, first served in that parking lot. And it is right across the street, just up 100 feet or so from the loading dock entrance. So we will have that to be able to direct you to park if you have a truck or trailer or a bigger van that you can't fit into the parking garages with.
Do keep in mind there is a wrestling event going on this year. So parking will be at a premium. The sooner you can get your items unloaded in the Civic Center and get your vehicle moved to a garage or a parking lot is better. Let's see, if you have any questions, pop it into the chat. Or feel free to ask at any time. But that's pretty much how setup will be. We'll get you in the loading dock. WVDA staff will take you to your booth. And then from there, you have until noon to get set up. At noon, that's when the vendor hour and the wholesale hour will open. At 1 o'clock on the dot, we will throw open those doors and there will be a rush of customers in. So you've got to be ready to go. As for teardown, you cannot tear down until 6 p.m. That is the end of the event. That being said, if you do completely sell out of your items, which has happened at this event before, please come find one of the WVDA staff at the West Virginia Grown booth. At that point, we will evaluate and see if we can get you out of there earlier. We do understand that, you don't want to sit there for 2 hours if you sold out in the first hour. Make sure you bring a lot of products so you don't do that. But we understand if it does happen, congratulations if it happens. But again, just reach out to WVDA staff at the West Virginia Grown booth, which is typically in the front of the room. It's been in the same spot for the past couple of years, but for new people, it will be towards the front of the room, towards the Civic Center lobbies. Teardown will start promptly at 6 p.m. We'll start ushering people out the door at 6 p.m. Some people will linger for a little while longer, but you can start tearing down then. We're going to try to have everybody out of the Civic Center by 7:30. So keep that in mind as you're planning your exit. Before you leave the Civic Center, before you leave the premises, we do have a small survey that we do ask you to fill out. It's a single-page survey. This can be anonymous. You do not have to write your name on this. But some of the things we ask on the survey are like your honest opinion on your space, your honest opinion of the crowds, if you had any issues. And we do ask for sales numbers, your best estimate of what your sales numbers are. Please understand that this can be anonymous. We're not asking this to report you for taxes or anything like that. what we would like to do is to find out the economic impact of this event. We want to know how this event is putting money back into West Virginia farmers. And that's what helps us continue this event, is that we could show that this is a great impact for West Virginia. And it helps us evaluate for next year. Like everybody commented on that really, really tiny aisle. We saw it, but we also heard your opinion. So guess what? We have a new layout this year. Wi-Fi will be addressed, yes. Does anybody have any questions on setup, tear down, or survey, anything like that?
There will be Wi-Fi available for your POS transactions. It will run throughout the conference that has surrounded the Winter Blues Farmers Market. So we'll have that available for you when you check in Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
So as Amanda said, this is a very long day. We understand that. Charleston can be intimidating if you're not from around here, but there is a few food options close within walking distance for you to be able to grab lunch from. There's a Starbucks and a Wendy's pretty close. And then the Charleston Town Center has Chick-fil-A and a couple other food court options. But if you are, we anticipate you being pretty busy from 1 to 6 o'clock for sure. So pack some snacks, pack a lunch, eat a big breakfast, come prepared knowing that there's not a ton of food options in the Civic Center itself. We hope to help you all with this in the future. It's just not something that we were able to do this year with providing everybody lunch. So do come prepared with that. There's a question in the chat that says, what is considered blocking the view of another booth? That would be like a pull-up banner, so like right on the edge instead of in the back of your booth. I mean, we know that you'll have like some people build shelves up and things like that. You're welcome to do that. But try not to, like, we don't really like to see,
like tents, canopy tents. If you use it, we don't particularly like that because it is very obvious and very obstructing to the next person. If you do have a pull-up banner, like a single pull-up banner or something like that, it's fine. We'll, again, if we find a problem with it, we will let you know early on in your setup process. The sign on there, yes, we would love for you to put up an FFA emblem or sign for your daughter's SAE, yes.
I'm also getting some questions on my phone. If you are purchasing 2 spaces, we do note that in the conference layout. So there will not be a divider in the middle of your 2 spaces. You will have one open 20-foot section. So that was a question that came in. Unless you want it and note that on your application, it will be one open 20-foot space for everybody if you purchase two spots. The building will be locked up Friday evening. A staff member stays until 7 p.m. when we say that it's shut down, and then all the doors are locked as we leave. So as you know, it's as safe as we can leave it. But at the conference center, but they do lock the doors and they don't let anyone in until we get there Saturday morning. So
Civic Center staff does have access. However, we've not had issues in the past. If you do have issues, please let us know, obviously, but that's never been an issue in the past. As I would advise anybody at any event, don't leave anything valuable out. If we have had people kind of cover up their table overnight just with a cheap plastic tablecloth, kind of out of sight, out of mind sort of thought process.
Another question is, do we need a temporary vendor license from the city for the event? Do we need to pay city taxes for this event to the city? No, you do not need a temporary vendor license because it's a farmer's market and we are registered as a farmer's market for this event. Correct, Beth? Okay.
So you registered online and did not have the opportunity to upload business certificates and stuff. If you need to send us your proof of your farmer's market vendor permit, your meat distributor's license, your hemp license, whatever you want to show us, you can email us. You can email me. My name is Amanda. Again, you can email me at AKI, T as in Tom, T as in Tom, EL at WVDA.us. And that'll get to me and I can put it into our file.
Donna, as far as coming into the with your product into the front, there is like steps and things like that. It's just not easy to do that. We recommend that everyone comes through the loading docks just to ensure that you're checking in with the department staff so we know you're there. It just kind of keeps our ducks somewhat in a row easier for us.
I'd say there will also be booths set up out there for small farms, and it's just, yeah, we need everyone coming in the same entrance.
Yeah, Civic Center does prefer us to use the loading docks because there is the Small Farms Conference, which I highly recommend that everybody attends if you're not already going to be there, going on as well. So we want to respect that because their booths are going to be out there as well. And there is small farm stuff going on as well during Saturday morning, I believe.
Yep, and if you have any trouble, like Amanda said, we will be centrally located at the West Virginia Grown booth, but we'll all have West Virginia Grown shirts, the logo that's behind Beth, the West Virginia Grown logo, and then extension staff will be there as well in official polos or long sleeve shirts of some sort. So just feel free to grab someone that has a department shirt or an extension shirt on, and we will help you get in the right place, or if you have any questions throughout the day. Feel free to keep popping the questions into the chat, but we're going to move through how to prepare for the event. So I want to play a video to just kind of show you last year so you can see the event, the crowd. As you watch this video, pay attention to how people have their booths set up, the crowd size, and the flow of traffic, which will be a little different this year. But this is just the highlight video from last year that does show some of the products that were there and how they're displayed. And so you all have a great idea. So here we go.
Our Winter Blues Farmers Market. That was introduced for one reason only, to show farmers that you can push the season and expand the number of food items for sale. This is such a celebration. It's like going to your favorite county fair on the favorite day and trying to work your way through the crowd. It is truly an event. It's also helped a lot of people with their farm income because it creates yet another sale day. We're so excited about agriculture, and I've devoted 43 years of my life to keeping West Virginians on the farms so they could raise their kids in an environment that they wanted them raised. And this will help do that.
So yeah, as you can see from the video, one thing I noticed in the video, it's kind of only showed one hall, like the north or south hall. We have both of those. That really only showed half of what we had there. So it is a large event. You saw the wide aisles. I think we typically do like 20-foot aisles in between the booths to allow for that rush of traffic. Because I'm not kidding when I say there will be a flood of people when it first comes in. People arrive earlier waiting outside the door. We have to keep them out. So this is going to be a very big event. What did we estimate the crowd last year? About 8,000, give or take, people. We're going to try to get a better number this year, but it's pretty big for as short as this event is. This is This is pretty good.
It's a great event and we're super excited to have you all. So if you're a new vendor, some of the things you might have noticed in that video is lots of vendors have multiple people to work, especially if you're sampling. They recommend one person to just devote to samples or two, depending on how many products you're sampling, and one person just to run sales. So definitely bring some help if you're, a small operation. Make sure you tag in your family and friends to get you some help running your booth for the event. Signage is huge. Your prices on signage, you saw Mama Faye's did a great job with little paper cutouts just in little holders from Amazon to let everyone know your prices. As soon as they walk up, they can see your prices, and then a sign to let them know if you take cash and or credit cards. A lot of our vendors are taking both, using a Square or Clover or some type of POS system. We highly recommend that if you're able to take cards. Some people only take cash, but it does reflect in their sales reports. So be able to take multiple, yes, absolutely. PayPal, Venmo, have a sign clearly displayed what all payment options you take. As well as some people take SNAP and stuff like that. If you're selling produce, you can take any form of payment that you can take, and the more the better. Sampling, you do have to follow farmers market procedures for how you sample. And if you're questioning that, we can get you in touch with Stacy Stewart to make sure you're doing the right sampling procedures. But they are at this event, so just be cautious of that. And then the flow of your booth. A lot of people just have, that it comes with an 8-foot table, your booth space does. So the front 8-foot is their booth space, and people just kind of walk the main aisle, but you're welcome to view your booth if you have other tables that you want to set up. So let people walk inside your 10 by 10 space. You're welcome to do that. So it's however you want to arrange your booth, but you do want to be cautious of the flow of traffic. Again, we do have a large amount of people coming in, especially at the beginning of the event. So be cautious of how you set up your booth and how you're able to work the crowd.
And Maggie did mention how important it is to show your signs, like what kind of currency you do accept. There is a ATM in the lobby of the Civic Center. From my own personal experience, that ATM does not always work, nor is it always full. So for your own needs, for bringing cash in, and for customer needs, that ATM may not be available. So make sure when you are doing your preps, you bring in enough cash, enough startup cash for your event, because you may not be able to go out and get more. A lot of small bills and things like that, highly recommended. If you pay for 2 spaces, yes, each space will get its own table. It automatically comes with a table. So yes, if you pay for 2 spaces, you will have 2 tables in there.
Yes, great question, Emily. What other questions do we have? That's kind of the rundown that we wanted to give everybody. We do, just if you're curious, we are at 80 as of today, not including online in the past few days. We get reports from those about once a week. So these numbers are a little off, but as of now, we have 87 total vendors taking up 111 total spaces. So we are starting to fill up pretty quickly. Last year, we only had 84 vendors and right at 100 spaces. So we are already exceeding last year's crowd for vendors. If you have questions, if you've been accepted or not, feel free to call into our department at 304-558-2210 and talk to Amanda or I. and we will confirm that we get your application. But we want to, let you know that that we only get the online applications about once a week, because they are ran through the treasurer's office. So if you fill it out today, then don't call tomorrow morning and see if you have it. Give us a few days to make sure that we get the newest report. But again, the application deadline is February 9th, and we will be sticking strict to that application deadline this year.
I would like to also make note that some vendors may be reached out via email or by phone, kind of inquiring about your products. Depending on what you do, some of your products may be things that are considered potentially hazardous food items. Sometimes they're acidified, sometimes it's because they're water activity. There's a myriad of reasons. But you may be reached out to, double check what items you're bringing and to inquire whether you have a farmer's market vendor permit, which is something that is required for some items. So don't be alarmed if you do get an email or phone call from me. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody has all their permits and everything is legal. You may be asked to get a farmer's market vendor permit, which is a $35 fee to our regulatory division. And if that is something that is required for you, I will walk you through, why we're asking for this and what's needed and stuff. I will get you in touch with Stacy Stewart over in our regulatory division to get that taken care of. That I'll be reaching out to people probably within this week and next week as the deadline closes to just finalize our vendors. So keep an eye on your email or on your phone. If some strange lady calls and sounds really questioning, trying to say your name, it's just me. It's just me.
And if it's not Amanda, then it might be spam. So
Apparently that's happened, but I will identify myself being with the Department of Ag.
When last year's farmer?
The farmer's market vendor permits expire annually. There should be an expiration date on the vendor permit, I believe, your certificate that you get. So if it expires after the date of the event, then it would be fine. However, if there is any question, feel free to email that to us or call us and we'll confirm with regulatory whether that's allowed or not. Does anybody else have any questions or concerns? Feel free to pop in the chat or unmute yourself and ask us. This is your time to, anything that's been bothering you or any questions that you have. Nothing is stupid. Trust me, we've gone through it.
How do you get a list of products that you have to have a vendor permit for?
So for that, our farmer's market vendor guide is on our website, agriculture.wv.gov. That's what we follow because this is registered as a farmer's market. We follow that guidebook. But if you'd like to call in specifically, we can go over your products. Some examples might be like a hot pepper jelly, pickles, salsas, things like that. Those are
Canned items.
Yeah, anything time and temperature controlled.
Okay,
Yes.
canned items. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yes, your standard jams and jellies are fine. Most bakery items are fine so long as they're not like cream cheese based or things like that.
Okay.
But again, if there is any questions, I'll be reaching out to people in the next week or so.
Okay. It's a vendor guide and it's on your website?
Yes, I believe agriculture.wv.gov.
I'll pop it in the chat. for you.
Okay, yeah, Maggie's gonna pop in a link into the chat,
Okay.
so you guys can reference it.
Okay. Thank you.
And again, do not hesitate to call us, 558-2210. Beth, if you would type that in the chat, just for record purposes. This is the business development main line, so you can call us with any questions regarding winter blues. Myself or Maggie, ask for either one of us and we'll help you.
And I'll mention, once you look at the vendor guide, there's a chart, I think on page 2, and that it's not, we can't cover every product, but it'll give you the best idea. And that's really your reference page. That's the page you should refer to. You don't have to go through the whole vendor guide. That page is really the page you need to look at.
There you go. It's in chat. This is a larger PDF, so don't be alarmed when it pops up. It's like a 50-page PDF. We've tried to make it as straightforward as possible to find what you need. Are there any other questions? Okay. Well, again, feel free to reach out to us anytime. We are looking forward to this event. We're looking forward to having everybody there. We're excited for it. It looks like it's going to be a big event this year.
Lisa, do you have anything to add on your end?
If anyone wants to do a booth review with us, I'd be happy to help with that. We do have a mini series that we conducted this past summer. It's on YouTube, and I can share that link if anyone wants to look at it. We go over just like some of the things related to color and the psychology of sales, and just some things about setting up your booth. I know it really is best to do like a trial run in advance if possible, and just think about where things are going to go. Where is your point of sale going to be, whether that's cash or cashless? You know, where are your bags going to be? And did you bring bags for folks? You know, those are just things like logistic things for your booth and how you normally run it at a market, and how that might differ at this type of event where you might have more people coming towards you asking more questions, and making sure things are priced appropriately, and that you do have prices on things, and just make like all of those little tiny details make a huge difference when it comes to efficiency day of. I met with a vendor last year after the event, and he was able to pull up his phone, and the majority of his transactions were through Square, and he was able to make a transaction every minute for like the first hour or two of that event, because he had everything streamlined so well that he was just constantly, he was the one doing all of the sales, so he was constantly pulling credit cards. And just imagine, that is a lot of potential money that would flow through that event. People are there to buy, so please do your best to pack as much product in to your space. I know it's only a 10 by 10, but do your best to pack as much product in as possible. Your goal is not to sell out. If you cannot sell out at the end of the day, come see me and I'm going to give you a high five. Okay. Like, I will be so excited because we've had so many people sell in the first 30 or 45 minutes as first time vendors, because you can't imagine how many people come through there unless you've seen it, either photos or experienced it yourself. So those are like my preaching points. And then the other thing I would love for you to do, if you are a social media person, is please, one, say you're going to our Winter Blues Farmers Market event on Facebook, and also promote your business there. Then we can help share it, and other folks can also share it. And that helps us build this wonderful hype train and get people really excited to show them what kind of products you're going to be bringing, and get them connected to your business. And that way, like if you have a website, they can follow up with you afterwards for additional sales potentially. So just some of those things as we move towards the date and get really excited. I'll go ahead and link some of those things in the chat for you all. And then if you have questions, let me know. Let all of us know. Let the team know. And we are very serious about the survey. Like, we read every single one of those surveys afterwards, and we find your sales input critical after the fact. Like, it helps us show our bosses and our stakeholders why we should hold this event. It helps us keep it funded. It gets sponsors excited about it. It's just, we need to tell the story of the impact of agriculture, especially in the winter in West Virginia. And all of you giving us feedback and participating in this event helps us do that. So thank you so much for signing up and for participating. And if you haven't signed up yet, please do so.
And I will say, to Lisa's point, bring business cards, because a lot of people will see your booth and love your products and want to know where they can find you. So having your business card where you have your social media or your website or just a phone number on it so they can contact you later for more potential sales Don't forget your business cards, add that to your packing list along with bags. We do give out reusable grocery bags to the first 1,000 people that come in, but I promise those go so fast that we can't
keep up with it.
we can't give them out to, unfortunately, all thousands of people that come, but we will give out some reusable grocery bags. But if you have t-shirt bags or plastic bags, be sure to pack those as well. Beth, anything you want to add?
I don't think so. Yeah, I was going to add about the bags. You covered that. Fortunately, I think people have learned now they'll come in with their carts and their reusable totes, and they've been there enough times to know they're going to load up when they're there. I'll just say I think the variety's looking pretty good so far. I mean, we're, I think, covering all the bases that we usually do as far as products, so we're very excited about that. And more, like they said, we're up vendors at this point, so even more vendors to shop from this year. So we're very excited about that and all the new vendors.
And to answer the
Yeah, I
question,
would say from a comm standpoint, expect media there. They're always there. Our communications people will be around taking pictures. If you have time, might grab some of you for interviews, et cetera, et cetera. So
to answer the question that is in the chat, yes, after the vendor list is more solidified, you will start seeing social media posts and different things about vendors going to the event. We do try to publicize that. That's why the cutoff is early, so we have time to do our part and to help, drive those people in. They're going to be excited to see you. If you do your part and say you're going to the event, we're going to do our part saying you're coming to the event. Between the two of us, we'll get more people in those doors.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to get a total list posted and do some highlight social media in the weeks and days coming up to the Winter Blues event from the West Virginia Department of Agriculture social media. So we'll get some vendor highlights out there and a total list of who all will be attending the market. There's another question, why didn't we make it a 2-day event? We did survey our past few years participants and vendors of what they would like to see, how they would like to see it, the event made longer. And the survey results were one longer day on Saturday. So we are trying to accommodate that. There were some requests for a 2-day event, but the civics or the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center is very expensive per day to rent. And Lisa can chime into that, but that was another deciding factor for us to not make it a 2-day event.
And we don't want to move it away. We do this with the Small Farms Conference, which is a fantastic event. We want to keep it there, and without getting too much into it, we don't put on this event to make money. We're not in it to make money for the department or anything like this. We're trying to put it back to you guys. So, we find that a lot of people show up on that Saturday. This event has gotten big enough where people know what's going on. They bring money to shop at this event. This is not one where you're just gonna have people walk by your booth. The only reason they're not gonna stop at your booth is if they've already bought it or they can't get to it because the crowd is so big.
And the Charleston Coliseum is the biggest event space that we can find in West Virginia. There's not a bigger event space for us to move to, unfortunately.
The only thing bigger would be the Coliseum itself, and unfortunately, they got a wrestling tournament, so maybe in a few years.
I think square footage wise, it's about the same, but it is a huge event that is humbly successful, and we will take into consideration if, this does continue to grow. So it's not something we've ruled out, making it a 2-day event. It's just not there
feasible yet.
Any other questions from the group? We had some people join in a little later. This has been recorded, so we will have a link if you would like to have a link to go back and listen to anything we said. We can get that link to you, but we appreciate everybody being on this evening, and we wanted to just kind of give everybody a clear sense and on the same page of what to expect for this vendor, for this farmers market We're super excited. We hope you all are excited. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out and we would love to help you.
And any of the links or documents that were posted in chat, if for whatever reason you can't access it, can't find it later, again, give us a call. We'll send that out to you via email or however we need to get that to you. Beth, Lisa, is there anything else you'd like to do before we shut down for the night?
Did
Nope.
you want to give that shout out for the reception? I see you mentioned that.
Oh, yes.
We are having a West Virginia grown reception that's also open to potential members of our West Virginia grown program on February 22nd from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Capitol Market. And we would love to have each of you come network with other West Virginia grown members, stakeholders within the state, and restaurants, our partner members, which are restaurants and retailers that sell West Virginia grown products. But we would love to have you join us. There is an RSVP. It's a free event. We'll have food and drinks, and
Just feel free to stop by and again, network, bring your business cards, and just, we're hoping to help develop some more relationships across the state. We want to help get our producers connected to our retailers, get connected to our restaurants and things like that. So everybody is welcome to attend. Again, it's at the Capitol Market Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m.
yeah, I'm trying to get to the link to post it in the chat.
Okay, Maggie's gonna get that posted to the chat. So, let's see.
To the recording of the meeting, we were finishing at the farm and logged on.
Okay,
okay.
yes. Yes, if it's able to be emailed, I will try to get that emailed out to you within the next day or two. If it's too large to be emailed, which is a possibility given that this is about a 45-minute long meeting at this point, we will discuss within a department. I know sometimes we have
We can put it on our YouTube channel.
yeah, we can post it on our YouTube channel for you guys to see, and we'll send you the link that way. But we will get that out to you.
Any other last minute questions? Thank you again to all of you who joined, and we hope to see you at Winter Blues, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning. And we would love for you to join us at the reception if you're able on Thursday evening as well. But can't wait to see everybody. Can't wait for the event. And we appreciate your time and patience with us as we continue to work towards helping the farmers that provide the food for our state. Thank you guys and have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.